Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to another Bayview review. Now, today we're going to be talking about Death Breed. But before I get into my review, I wanted to take the time to thank Bayview for sending me this copy to review for you guys. They have an awesome company, they have a massive catalog, and pretty much something to fit everyone's taste. I'm going to put the links to their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, and their official website in the description box below. Definitely check them out. And don't forget, those of you who have Roku, Bayview Entertainment is now on Roku. Just type in Bayview Films. Death Breed is a 2021 film, or at least that's when it was released, and it runs 115 minutes. And is written and directed by Ben Dixon. Now, he was responsible for Old Habits Die Hard, Aconite, and Dark Harvest 3. Now, this stars a plethora of horror people. So, us horror guys are just going to have an amazing... You'll want to see it because of the cast alone. It stars Gunnar Hansen, Kane Hodder, Lloyd Kaufman, Linnea Quigley, Debbie Rochon, Edwin Neal, Roger Hewlett, Stacy Dixon, Trisha Cast, and Reggie Bannister. Now that's a cast right there. Now the budget on this was $100,000, and this is a horror anthology which breaks down into 3 parts. So I'm going to do this like I do pretty much every other horror anthology, and judge it by the sum of its parts, or judge it by its parts and not completely the sum. Okay, we have our first story, which is called Wolfsbane. And this is about a werewolf and a warrior come up in time battling a match of good versus evil. And this is going to sound a little familiar. The guy who's battling the werewolf is Aconite. So, I gave this one an 8. This one was pretty good. I enjoyed some of the werewolf effects. The gore was good. This had a ton of cast. And most of the cast show up in all 3 of these films. Short films, rather. The second segment is called Shudder. And that is, a mother is in treatment for abusing her daughter as she relives the events that happened in their family house. Gunnar Hansen's in that one as well. And this one has a little bit of a paranormal sort of flair to it. I gave this one a 7. This was my least favorite of the bunch, but it was still really good. And the third and final entry is called Old Habits Die Hard, which you probably already heard me say. And I'll get to that in a few minutes. This is about the Hollis family. They are cannibals, and their sister, who had just come back home from being abroad, she is basically very attractive, and she brings home men for her brothers to kill and then to eat. And it's done in comic book style, which I thought was really cool. This one I gave an 8.5. This was the longest one out of the bunch. This was 42 minutes. And yeah, this was my favorite out of the bunch. Of course, this has Kane Hodder in it, and Stacy Dixon. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Oh, Edwin Neal, I believe, is in this one too. Okay, that kind of balances everything out to about an 8, in my opinion. Like a 7 3/4 or an 8 for the entire anthology. Death Breed is an interesting piece of film work, and that is all 3 of these, I do believe, were cut down from full-length feature films. Now, I know this is the case with Old Habits Die Hard, because Bayview has released Old Habits Die Hard, and I am dying to see the entire film. Like I said, we got 42 minutes of it in this anthology, but the actual movie itself runs about an hour and 33 minutes. So I'm really interested to see what I missed in this short film. Now, Wolfsbane went under a different title called Aconite, and I couldn't get the runtime on it, but it was actually released as a feature film. That one ran about, if I remember correctly, about 41 minutes. Now, all of these segments have different people and creepy situations that introduce the segments in the anthology. That's the best way to kind of describe it. The first one is kind of like a creepy guy who works in a movie theater, an old decrepit movie theater. The second one is a vampire who comes out of his coffin to introduce the second segment. And the third segment is kind of an extension of that, where you have the woman that he killed to make undead kind of introducing the third segment. Very interesting film. Like I said, it had me do research in the film because it looked like these were cut down. Now, they do tell linear stories, but you can tell, at least I could, that these were once full-length feature films because the cutscenes were kind of awkward, but they were done kind of stylish to try to keep some kind of a unification of the anthology itself. But I don't know, you just got a feeling that you were missing something. And that maybe this was like a 30 or 40 minute long trailer, if that makes any sense. Definitely interesting. This was one of the top 10 Bayview films released in 2021. The others being Ashbury Waters and Morbid Colors, Vortex. I tried to review most of them. The Poltergeist Diaries was another one. And like I said, other than the ones that I already reviewed, I tried to review the rest of them. One that I didn't ask for was one that actually the Horror Man reviewed called Nothing Left. That was also part of the top 10. But I've been really impressed with what they have been coming out with. And this, while it seems unfinished, kind of comes off as a interesting anthology. And maybe it was because Bayview also released Old Habits Die Hard that kind of spurred me to do a little bit more of research about these short films. So, yeah, this is definitely one for us horror nerds out there with, so many great casts, especially, Gunnar Hansen, who passed away. And we have Kane Hodder and Reggie Bannister, who's unfortunately has Alzheimer's or dementia. Yeah, it's really interesting to see this. Now, if I remember correctly, when I was doing some research, this was filmed between 2004 and 2009. So when you do see this, you're going to get kind of not a retro type feel, but you can tell that this was done a while back. So that also was one of the reasons why I did some more research on this one. But I definitely recommend it. Those of us who love Kane Hodder, and there's so many of us, and Reggie Bannister, and Gunnar Hansen, and Edwin Neal, and Debbie Rochon, and Linnea Quigley, it's amazing. The cast is absolutely amazing. So check this one out. Another special thank you from Bayview, and if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.